Man, those Night Sisters must brew a great beer because your boy Thrawn, he got that beer belly.
Every choice made has led to this.
Dude, I literally was talking to a coworker today about that. How my only complaint about Thrawn was he wasn't skinny. And like even in the book they talk about how slender he is in his book. Like his stature and stuff. And then I saw his belly, and then the guy's like, so you're fat shaming an alien right now? I was like, yeah. Yep. Like, yeah, start up.
Everyone, welcome back to another Ahsoka-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back
I'm
with
alive.
Ahsoka Season 1, Episode 6, Far, Far Away. Yep. So we finally got... Well, actually, this is the second time we've gotten Far, Far Away in this show. Your boy Jason said that when the whales were there.
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, Ezra sent the bad guys far, far away," and then here we got a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Which I thought that was. We'll get to it.
Well, because the funny thing is, like, you know, like the original like thing from George Lucas was that, you know, the Wills are the one telling the story of Star Wars, and they're the one that said. But maybe Hu Yang is the one who tells the stories of the galaxy and galaxies. So, who knows? But it was kind of
hard to tell.
It was kind of funny.
No, I liked it. It kind of took me out a little bit though when Hu Yang's like, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I was like, you made it like too realistic, like too like. I don't know. It just felt like you know what I mean.
I don't know. That was just funny. Like, it was a line that they put in. But if you want to see my reaction, my reaction video is up right now. Drew's watch party is up on YouTube also. So if you want to watch the show with someone, go on YouTube and watch us. And
we're getting really close. So if you guys are listening, go over and sub. We're getting closer and closer to our 500. I know it's not that big of a deal, but there's a lot more listeners than there is YouTubers.
Yeah, we've been popping on our listener count on Spotify. So you guys are all listening right now.
We know you guys are there. We can see you.
Yeah, we see you. We know that like 73% of you are from the United States and the rest of you are from outside the United States. And
there's probably only 20% that subscribe on YouTube. So not even.
I think
less than that.
I think based on our subscribers on Spotify, we are like, I don't know, like 12% of our.
There you go.
Is like followers have. So
come
it's like,
over, you guys.
Y'all, just help us out. Like, here's the thing. If we hit 500, like that's the first like thing to get like money where you can like put
people
like
donate
money. I'm not saying we're gonna do that right away, but I'm saying that's the first option. Then the second milestone is 1,000 subs is like half of what you need to like, or one of two requirements that you need to get ad revenue. And now the second one is we have to have 4,000 watch hours of people watching us every 365 days, which is hard. But we need those milestones because if you love us, help us out with the subbing us on YouTube. We can maybe get a few pennies here and there on YouTube if you guys follow us on there. So
just go over there and just give us some love. That's all we're asking.
Yeah,
we're not asking for money. We're not asking like, even though after Empire Con we might need some. But anyways, like
hold on.
Just go over there and just show some love. That's all.
Yeah.
If you're watching live stream and you guys haven't, there's a link right there. We'll just post up all our links and you can go over there.
Yep. And while you're there, you might as well watch the VCU fan film that we made. That's been popping off.
Yeah.
That's a fun fan film that we made, movie length. So go watch that as well. But enough of that. Enough of that. Enough of that. You guys are here for our boy Thrawn.
Yeah.
But Drew, what were your overall thoughts on this episode?
I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I was happy. I liked the way they went with it. And this is why. Because you guys were talking about last week that like if we're gonna get him,
I heard that.
if we're gonna get him, thanks for the new sub, Yellow Snow. If we were gonna get him, it was going to be for like at the end of this episode, or like even Andrew was thinking that we might not even get him to like the end of the last episode. And I was listening, and I got to be a fan for once of my own podcast, and I was like, you're dumb. There's no way they're going. Like, I was yelling at you guys through at work, listening to the headphones, and I was just yelling at you guys like, there's no way they're gonna do that to us. And because it doesn't like that would be so dumb if the image that we got in the trailer was the image that we were gonna get of Thrawn through the show, and then we were gonna have to wait for who knows how long until we actually get him again. Like, so I was really hoping that wasn't true, and I like that they didn't give us Ahsoka, but they did, like, but it was super brief, and we didn't just sit in the cockpit of her ship talking the whole time. We got a good like 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes in the beginning, and that was it. And we knew she was going there, and I liked that concept. Like there was still suspense, and they built up what she's gonna go land and find without actually like her getting there, and then it's just there. Because that was like another prediction. You guys thought she would just get there, and then Thrawn's already on the ship, and like there wasn't a lot of buildup. And I like the way they did it, where we kind of just saw her coming, and then we got the build up, and then we know that they know that she's coming now. So I like that. I think the Night Sisters scene was really intense and pretty scary, and the music and stuff was like really eerie, and like it was really cool. And Thrawn was amazing. The whole when the ship landed, if you guys go watch my watch party, I'm spoiling it. But I was like, dude, I wonder how many people he has on there. And then as soon as I said that, it showed the whole like ship with all the cool troopers, and they're all battle worn, and it looks super cool. So I love that part. Thrawn was super cool. His voice was amazing. But I think he seemed too much of a bad guy to me. And his beer gut kind of took me out of it a little bit. But besides that, I love the episode. I thought it was good. And Ezra was spot on. For me, he looked exactly like Ezra with a beard.
I was like, he doesn't normally have a beard.
Without the beard, but if he didn't have the beard and he had that long hair like that, I think he looked really good. I liked it.
All right. Cool.
And
Well, so in the Discord, in the Ahsoka thread, Matasaurus Rex asked, what's the over under on us having an argument? And I said less than 10 minutes. And it's 8 minutes and 57 seconds right now. So I was very disappointed by this episode.
Well, I saw that you wrote the flop thing.
The flop thing?
Like you showed that meme to Andrew.
The GIF thing. The beer belly thing.
I didn't know if when you first showed up the episode, or like when you made that announcement, like the intro, whatever, and you said his belly. I was like, oh, maybe it's not about you thought this episode was a flop. You just thought his belly was big, but it's kind of both.
Yeah, he had a beer belly.
But it was also that you thought this episode was a little floppy.
So I don't know. So I loved the Thrawn stuff, like all the whole ship thing, all the stuff on the ship. I thought it was great. I love seeing Ezra, but like, dude, those turtle things I hate. those turtle guys. I hate, dude.
Well, I didn't mention them.
That was the most non-Star Wars thing we've ever gotten in Star Wars.
I can disagree with that.
What's the most non-Star Wars thing in Star Wars?
Freaking people in Boba Fett.
The bikes?
Yes,
The
the
mods?
bikes and the thing you hated the most. You don't remember the
What?
droids that were our droids.
Huh?
Those dogs, those robot dogs that we have in real life.
Robot dogs?
You don't remember?
What are you in Book
What
of
are those?
Boba Fett?
Yes, they were in Book of Boba Fett. They walked on Tatooine. It's those. Chat, help me out. What are those robot dogs that are we are making them right now? You remember what I'm talking about? You
Robot
called me out.
dogs?
Yes, they're robots, but they're not. They don't have heads. It's like a body and 4 legs, and they kind of walk around.
What?
You don't remember that?
I have no idea. He also has Boston Robotics.
Yeah. Oh no,
what?
it was in Kenobi. Yeah, the Boston robotic dogs were in Kenobi, and you hated that.
I vaguely remember me hating some, but I don't remember seeing them in.
No, I remember because we spent like 10 minutes you complaining about them. Chat, roll the clip.
I vaguely remember complaining about those now, but I don't remember. I can't picture the scenes in the thing. But that's
they're just walking by. But you were like, "This is worse. This is horrible." Like this.
I don't think I reacted that much. But these turtle guys, anyway, these turtle guys.
Yeah, they felt like Harry Potter
Well,
characters.
okay, so we'll get to it. I think I can justify why a lot of things in this episode are the way they are. We'll get to that later. And it's like I can I get it, but like the whole concept of like Sabine going out to find Ezra was kind of lame and anticlimactic. Like
how fast she found him.
That because it seems like Thrawn and them couldn't find Ezra
the whole time. Yeah,
the whole time for the past 12 years that they've been stranded.
Yeah,
and
she's there for 10 minutes and she
finds them
like from their dog.
Yeah,
that she gets from them.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's like
I'm not disagreeing with you.
And like, sure, I love, and I also I love Ezra, like his performance, it was great. But like, if I was Sabine, and I turned around and saw one of my best friends that I've been looking for,
oh yeah,
like I would be crying. I would have had so much more emotion.
Yep.
They just I'm
agreeing with you.
It's like they haven't seen each other in like a month, and
it was like a best friend hug. It was like, but not like, okay. It was like, what up, bud? Like, and like, let's like pound it. Like, it wasn't like, I haven't seen you in years.
It's like we've seen Sabine more emotional, emotional in Rebels. Like,
no, we've seen her more emotional in the show.
I don't want to say that. There's scenes in Rebels where she's like very emotionally distraught and her emotions are being shown, like, and like we didn't get any emotion from her. She got a little smirk on her face, and then they have a little joke, and then they hug.
Yeah,
and then
it was very anticlimactic.
I thought when she was getting attacked by those bandits, he was gonna jump out and save her, and like take off his mask, and it's Ezra. Like, that was so cool.
For me, I was really hoping the entire time Ezra was the guy in the gold mask.
Oh.
And that Thrawn just sent her out there to die. And then she would have kept looking out for him. She wasn't gonna find him. And then what the Jedi, I forget his name. Galen went and found her like about to die, and then he ends up deciding to save her life, and then they go and try to help fight with Ahsoka. Like, I think, I don't know about you guys, but I think that would have been a cooler story.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he is fully in this.
Who?
Balin, he's not a bad guy.
I think he's just a separate. Like he has, I think he has good intentions,
Yeah.
but I think he's a separate villain with his own agenda. Like
Yeah.
he's just using Morgan and Thrawn and the Night Sisters to get to this planet
Mm-hmm.
because he says there's something there calling him. It's the beginning to stop the cycle of rise and fall of powers. Like, so
Which
like,
is, can't get
we
mad about that.
we don't know
What that means,
what
but
that means. Like, it's just like we have no answers. I want some answers. Hopefully, we get that. Also, because R.I.P. Ray Stevenson has died in real life. Like, hopefully, his story is done by the end of the season, and that we
yeah.
get all those answers. Because you can't replace him. Like, there's no way you can get a different actor to fill those shoes. Like,
See what Red Buff said in the chat.
kind of like the little nuns on Octu.
Yeah, I kind of did. No, I don't like it at all.
But yeah, so like the good things in this episode were like really good, but then
That's
the rest of it was very like mid or like not.
see, and I'm not arguing with you about it because I feel the same way about that part. Like the I really think that the Thrawn stuff was really sweet besides his belly. And sorry if we're not shaming, but
We're not fat shaming Lars Mikkelsen.
no, but
I think the thing is we just are so used to Thrawn,
yeah,
because there's a one scene in Rebels where he's sparring with
yeah,
like a Phase 1 Dark Trooper or something, like some kind of buffed out thing, and like he's like jacked and he's like has big biceps and he's in shape, and here he kind of looks like a Muppet. Like I don't know. But anyway, what are you saying?
but like that whole stuff is really cool. But I don't know. I feel like Thrawn seemed super like his character was more dark than like an anti-hero character. Like I don't know, like it didn't feel like, and it could be that we're used to the books Thrawn and very methodical and thinking ahead, but it felt like he was lost. Like it didn't feel like he was thinking that far ahead. He was just relying on everything the Night Sisters were telling him. He didn't really have his own, like I don't know, for me it just seemed like he was just like, it didn't feel like Thrawn like I wanted it to.
No, I disagree because he's went to this witch planet and they follow him now. Like
I mean, you're not wrong.
like he's in control
true.
of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he has everything planned out. He just has to wait for someone to come get him, and then he can do it. So it's like he's
Yeah.
just been in a holding pattern for a long time, and now he's ready. So once these whales show up that Ahsoka's riding on, like it's gonna be a bloodbath in space. We're gonna see so many whales die next week.
It's gonna be well guts everywhere.
So like I think he's
Whales
in
will
control.
come.
Like
No, I'm not
Andrew,
saying he's not in control. It just feels like it doesn't feel as. It feels like he doesn't have enough secrets. Does that make sense?
not enough secrets. I don't know what
Like,
that means.
like I feel like when Thrawn is organizing a plan, there's always something going on that he's like thinking like 3 steps ahead, and it feels like he just told everyone the plan. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
right,
he was
because
probably thinking
that's the
ahead.
most that's the first thing that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Like we have to wait till we get back to our galaxy for him to do everything he's been planning.
that's true.
Um,
There's not
and
like much more than him just trying to get off the planet right now.
right, he's kind of like there's nothing he can do until he gets back to
Yeah.
the galaxy, the main our galaxy. And like Andrew posted or in the Discord last night, like asking everyone, like, does this Thrawn seem the same as the book Thrawn and with Rebels and stuff? And I think that it's too early to tell if it's consistent because we've only got literally what 5 minutes of screen time with him. Like we don't know anything.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
It was in
Like
the Book of Boba, by the way.
he has right. I saw that. I see. It seems that he has a line to Sabine like you something about like you finding Ezra is going to cause your galaxy to suffer. Whatever, I can't remember exactly how
Like he was like
he says that
disappointed.
he was said it way better. But like the fact is, like he already knows that our galaxy is going to suffer when he returns.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know what doesn't make sense for me. That is, how does he know that he can do that? Like, has he been using the witches to like communicate with Morgan, who is relaying messages to that council from Mando? Like if they don't know anything about him being alive, even though they seemed like they thought he was alive, but like, how is he going to return and then take over the galaxy basically, without if he hasn't already told the remnants of the Empire like what he wants to do? So it's like, why does he want to take over? Which it might be just so he can take the resources from our galaxy to fight the Grisk.
I think the Gris. I told this in the live chat. When I was doing the reaction before the reaction started. I think the Gris has nothing to do with the story, and I don't think we're gonna get that into the movie.
Well, right, of the show is
Like I
I
don't
don't
think
know,
this show we're gonna
but
even.
like my point is like the only thing that can make sense is if he's trying to take over our galaxy so that the military power of our galaxy can be used to fight the Grisks.
I
But
mean,
like,
you've been like we have been pretty consistent on our predictions lately, so I'm not gonna argue with you.
but it's like I just don't know what else.
Why else he would do that? You
Yeah,
don't think he just wants to do it for power?
no, because he's never done that. He only does what he needs to do to protect the Chiss ascendancy. That's his only motivation. He doesn't take power just for himself, just to have. Like that's not
So,
his character.
because the Gris are in war with the Chiss.
Right.
So,
So
so
it's
yeah,
like
that would make sense.
it makes sense, but like I said, how does he know that when he returns he can do that? Like obviously Thrawn's the best, but he just has the one ship. And has he somehow been communicating through the witches to that council?
Well, we know
Like,
that somehow they have been connecting to Morgan, and maybe Morgan has been communicating to the council up until she got arrested by Ahsoka.
but do we know that she has connections with the council?
Well, we know somehow they've been talking. Like we know in the Book of Boba that they were talking about Thrawn and that he's out there.
I mean,
Somehow,
Mando.
yeah, and Mando. So somehow they have been talking to him. That one person was talking to him,
I
right?
don't know. No, I don't know. We
Because
have to go,
how else would they know that he's alive?
but I don't think they do. I just think they
You
know
know,
that he hasn't been accounted for.
and his ship is missing, and they just think he's.
So like I don't know. I just hope we get by the end of the season at least an explanation. That's all I want. Is just give me 5 minute explanation of what's going on that makes sense to connect like the stuff from Mando and what's going to come next in the Mandoverse. Even though we don't know what show that's going to be,
Yeah.
like it's maybe Skeleton Crew if that ever whenever that comes out. But that's more. I've heard that that's more like just a parallel story rather than a tie-in. So like, I don't know how much that's going to be related, even. But I don't know.
The chat said that the Night Sisters talk to Morgan through dreams.
Right.
And yeah, but we don't we're not questioning that, chat. We're questioning is Morgan communicating with the Empire? Because you
Yeah,
got to
the
remember,
council and
because when we found Ahsoka in the Mando season 2, the first time we saw Ahsoka, she wasn't fighting the Empire.
right.
Like there was nothing to do with the Empire wasn't there. And it seems like Morgan is more because we also didn't see any Empire besides like the people funding the motors or like the engines to her ship. We didn't really see a lot of other Empire help to help
Right.
her. We just saw like droids and these weird people with tube mask things. Like we didn't see any more Imperial remnants helping Morgan. So like I Morgan seems more dedicated to Thrawn more or less than the Empire herself, and whatever Thrawn wants to do, she's gonna do. She got I thought Morgan did a really good job acting in this because I felt like when she was on that ship going there, she was the boss, right? And as soon as they landed and see those nice sisters, she submitted like instantly, and I thought that was a really good, well done. Like she did really, really good. She seemed like she was whatever they want to do now. She's in charge. She did her point. She served her purpose. She brought the ship. She's willing to go help Mando, Thrawn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but she submitted to Thrawn instantly too. She was giving her thoughts, but she didn't like if once Thrawn disagreed with her, she was okay with it. Like, I don't know. I thought she did a really good job acting in this episode.
All right. Cool. Well, we should try to do some scene by scene stuff, but this is kind of like all over the place of an episode, so it's gonna be kind of hard to
It kind of is,
navigate.
but
But starts out, Sabine is in intergalactic hyperspace, and she's flying across the Rainbow Road. So like that's cool. Mario, Star Wars crossover.
dun, 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 dun.
I watched that movie today, by the way.
Oh, did you like it? Was that the first time?
Yeah,
Did you like it?
it was kind of boring. It was.
Oh,
I was trying not to fall asleep, dude.
what is that on?
Peacock. I just started like a free thing for
Oh,
Peacock.
just for that?
No, I just saw what was on there, and there's not a lot on there.
Oh, what's it called on there that people are raving about? That video game we always loved to play as kids, and now it's a show.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah, I
I
heard
saw.
that's pretty good.
Really? I
I
saw.
heard,
I've
I
only
heard it's
watched
like
the first teaser trailer. I was like, this looks terrible.
I heard it's like if you want to go into the show and not care about anything and just enjoy.
A bunch of carnage.
Yeah, like that's your show. So I don't know
I don't know.
if
But anyway, they're
if the
flying through
strike
hypers.
is going on, we might just have to start breaking down Twisted Metal. That's all I'm saying, Jeremiah.
Maybe. But they're going through hyperspace, and they're just kind of like killing time because what else are they gonna do?
They should play Sabak. That would have been hilarious.
Right. And so, um,
Real quick, I'm pulling at Andrew right now. But do you think that you're gonna get more sick in that galactic space travel? Like looking at that, you know how like people can get sick from going to the
I don't know.
hyperspace.
That's an EU thing. I don't. That's not.
You think you would get more sick though? I feel
I
like
don't know.
if you get used to like flying a ship, you don't get seasick anymore. But that's like next level speed. So maybe you could get seasick again. Space sick.
I don't know. We've
That was
never
the first
seen
thing
that
I
in
was
Star Wars, so
thinking.
like I don't even know how to gauge that. I would say no, they're just fine.
Okay.
But they're just talking, and we learn that you gotta take history classes when you're a Padawan, which is interesting. Like I never thought of that. Like they learn about the history of the Jedi as a Padawan, as a youngling. So that's cool. And I guess Hu Yang was involved in that. History is parts 1, 2, and 3. And part 1 was always the best part in Ahsoka's mind about those stories and history from that. Um, but she then says that because Hu Yang goes, well, why don't you tell me a story? And she's like, well, I didn't tell Hera that Sabine went willingly with Balin. And so then Ahsoka's sad that she made the bad decision. It's going to cost a lot for the galaxy. But Hu Yang was like, well, maybe it was the only choice she had. Like, because he's like, the Force can influence your decision, like what things are, but like ultimately it's your decision. Like they don't tell, the Force doesn't tell you what decisions to make, and maybe this was the only choice she had. And Ahsoka was like, oh, maybe. So,
Yeah.
but then, but she makes the things that made the point that she thinks Sabine made the choice for herself. Like it was like a selfish thing, which
Mhm.
yes, but we've had
I
this
mean,
debate. But she's
yeah, I
trying
was
also
gonna
trying
say
to save someone, so it's like she's sacrificing to save someone else.
we
So
kind of literally their conversation was our conversation when it
right,
happened. Like you can see both sides of it, and I like that they acknowledge that in the show too. Like I thought that was really well done, where they're like, because he. It's a point like, what was she gonna do? Was she just gonna die? Was she gonna shoot her and then she was gonna die? You know, like it's not that she just did save Ezra; she's also saved her own life by not destroying that thing too.
right,
And it's like it is hard. Like, what's I don't know. You can't help save the galaxy if you're not there,
right,
but you also putting the galaxy in danger. Like I don't know.
right.
It's hard.
So Ahsoka is not wanting to talk about it anymore. So she's all right, Hu Yang.
Well, because
Tell,
she said, didn't she say that if she had more time with Sabine, maybe she wouldn't have made that decision?
yes, she said that.
Then, and when she said that, I was like, well, then you shouldn't have left her in the first place, like years ago.
Well, yeah, but the whole thing, she wouldn't have been able to teach until after she got the map. Like that wasn't a thing that would have been taught. Like she wouldn't have thought to
But
teach that because it wasn't
but
an
when
issue.
Ahsoka found the map, Sabine would have been with her when she found the map.
Right. But the dilemma then is it there's only a dilemma with the fact that someone that Morgan was taken out of prison and she was
Mm-hmm.
in pursuit of the map. Like it wasn't even a lesson that was on the radar because there wasn't a threat. And it wasn't until there was a threat that there was a lesson to be taught.
Yeah.
So like I don't think it would have unless it
That
was
wouldn't
just
have done anything.
right, unless she's just trying to say like years of training she would have made the right like Jedi
I think
thing.
that's what I got out
But
of it.
Ahsoka's also like anti Jedi, so it's like she's
Well,
even
yeah,
said she doesn't want
okay,
Sabine to be a Jedi. She wants Sabine to be herself. Well, if she's
yeah,
going to be herself, she's going to choose to save Ezra, not the galaxy.
and make the worst hug scene of all time in Star
It's not
Wars.
the worst hug scene of all time. Whatever.
The
But
sand scene part two.
anyway, um, she doesn't want to talk about it anymore. So then she's all right. Huyang just telling me a story, and this is when he says, "A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away." Ha ha ha! Pretty funny. So, and that's all we see of Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was kind of not happy that we didn't get Ahsoka for the rest of the episode. Like, I
I
don't
was
know.
fine with it because of what I said earlier. Like, I I think we would have saw more Ahsoka would have just been them talking in the cockpit. Like,
I'm saying she could have got to the planet
but she. I mean,
and
I guess we didn't see that she did, but she's pretty close.
right. She's not there yet, but it would be nice if she was like got there on the planet and like was on the ground and trying to like find her way.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing her traverse the terrain or something would be nice.
But I don't even think I think next week she's not even gonna do that. She's gonna go into atmosphere and see that ship and just board it right away.
Well, there's gonna be a a whale ship space battle.
Is there okay, you say that. And
He literally says once the whales arrive, destroy them with prejudice. Like it's
yes,
gonna be a slaughter. All those whales are about to die.
but yeah, you think they have guns?
The whales?
What if they're blow holes and shoot
No,
lasers?
gosh, whatever. We're moving on. Whatever. We're moving on. That's stupid.
They're just giant
So
cannons.
Sabine is in her prison cell, just hanging out, and I thought it was really weird that they took all of her gear except for her knee and shin pads.
Yeah, I
Like,
literally said that in my watch party.
I'm like, is this like what? Like, just take the rest of it. Like,
Like,
maybe
what's
she has like a tool in there that she could use, like hiding. Like, I don't know.
fast car sharp? Like it's a hard metal. She could have took one off and started digging. I don't know.
Right. So then Balin he comes to the door and they're like, we had a deal, blah blah blah, and blah blah whatever. So it's just like,
Right there, she was more emotional than when she saw.
right. But so Balin he leaves, goes to Morgan, and Morgan's like, are you still gonna like fulfill your promise to her to like have her find Ezra or whatever? And he's like, she's blinded by her search for Ezra, and we can use that, which we later on find out is implied that they need to find Ezra so they can kill him. So, like, that's why he has use of her, and she's of value,
You
which
think
is
that
interesting.
somehow they knew that Ezra wasn't there?
They knew what that.
Like, do you think somehow Morgan and them knew through her dreams with the Night Sisters that she saw Thrawn but not Ezra?
No, if Thrawn's there, Ezra's there.
No, I'm saying like together.
I don't know. The fact that Balin says that we need to use her to find her is use her to find him. Like
Yeah,
implies
it
that they're
seems
not
like
together.
he knew that Ezra was missing, but how would he know that? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know.
Because in my mind, I always thought Ezra was either captured by him or turned to the dark side by like he like went rogue, you know?
Well, I thought a long time ago that Ezra was going to be on Thrawn's side, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like Eli Vanto. Like he buys
Mm-hmm.
into Thrawn's leadership and like Thrawn's actually a good guy. We got to protect the Chiss from the Grisk. Like, but
Mm-hmm.
now we know that that's not a thing. So
Well, do we? Because this is
yeah, because Thrawn's trying to kill him. Like I don't know what you
you know
mean.
that
He says that.
he said that to them, but maybe the whole time Ezra's
No, that's no.
a spy.
Go based off of what it said. He's like,
Yeah.
when Balin and Shin find him, I'm going to send out 2 squads, and you're going to kill them all. Like that's the only information that we have. So, um, so then they arrive. They exit hyperspace, and we find out that this is the home planet of the witches of Dathomir, and they're called the Dathomiri. So that's something that we didn't know, that the Night Sisters are from a different galaxy. Because we were like, who are these people that have built this temple? Blah blah blah. We thought, were they Grisks? Like da da da. Nope, it was the Night Sisters, and we learned that the Night Sisters learned how to ride the whales back and forth, or at least 2. The one, I don't know if they can go back and forth really, but
I did we get to the part where they saw the bones of the dead
that's
whale?
what I'm about to say right now.
Oh.
So then Balin says, when the whales come to this planet, they come here to die. It's a graveyard. And seemingly the entire ring around the planet is just bones,
It's just pretty cool.
which I don't know how they decompose in outer space. Like,
Well, there's other alien species that fly in space that probably eats them.
I don't know about
I
that.
don't know. I mean, if we have flying whales in space, like who? Come on, it's not a hard reach. There's probably some maggot that lives in space that goes and attaches itself, and
I don't know. I thought it was just.
or their spirit just leaves and like their body, like I don't know.
I just don't understand how there can be a decomposing body in space.
It's cool, Jeremiah. We don't need
It
explanation.
would have just been better if it was just a bunch of dead whales, just carcasses, like rotten looking, like old looking.
That's a good question. So, if you are in space, are you always just floating? Like you're dead. You're just your body never gets old and rots
Right.
out away.
So I don't. Okay, I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure that on all the movies where they show like a body like freeze, pretty sure that's not accurate because there's no temperature in space. Because there's no heat transfer in a vacuum. So like if you go out into outer space, just your body, and you're 98.6 body degrees, your body is going to stay that temperature. So like
Now I'm curious.
I think that's true because there's no heat transfer in space. So to get cold is to lose heat, but heat's not going anywhere because it's a vacuum. So like you can't lose body heat in space.
Isn't the concept because we only have heat from the sun, and if there's no sun and it's just there, wouldn't it be cold?
Right, but that's based off of radiation that heats the planet. Like the reason our planet is warm is because of the radiant heat from the sun.
Yeah.
But like if but the heat is still here and it's trapped on this planet, like the energy is here. So like that energy for us to get cold would have to leave some other way. But like for a body that's in space, I think it's just stays as is.
Okay, there's got to be at least one person in the chat that's smarter than you and me.
I don't know, there's only 5 people in the chat, and I'm one of them. So we got some smart people in our Discord and fans them.
Well,
But
look it up and let us know.
I'm fairly confident that you don't freeze when you go to space. But
But either
even
way, if you froze, your body's like,
but
let's say
even
if you did,
the
your
bodies
body's
would still be there if they
yeah.
froze. So like I don't know.
Either way, it's really cool. Okay.
It's so cool. It's
And
interesting.
who knows how other galaxy space?
Yeah, maybe it's a whole different physics in that thing. So, but yeah. Anyway, very quickly after they arrive, they get a signal from the planet, and Morgan's like, "All right, we're going down. We're not gonna keep them waiting." And so they enter the atmosphere, and we see all of these statues all over the place, seemingly temples and statues and all that jazz. I'm like, this is cool. Like, this is some Night Sister stuff. And they land on the main temple area, and there's 3 witches. One of them is the Mother Witch, which is really cool, seeing the witches in live action. Now, it would have been crazy. They would have broken the internet if the mother was Mother Talzin still, even though she died. Like somehow, like she's still the mother, like in a different galaxy. Like I thought that would have been kind of cool, but they didn't.
Okay, so this is my question, and multiple people, casual fans, have already asked me this today at work. It's random people. Why is Morgan different than them? Is it she's not their species and she's this like a humanoid that has these powers and somehow got these powers? Or is it when you're like close and you're in the magic more, you start to form into what they look like?
I don't know. That is a very confusing thing because before the witches of Dathomir, like those women, I think were considered Zabrix, which were the female Zabrik, and the male Zabrik is Maul species. So the males have the horns, and they have like
Before
those markings on his face. That's what we thought the canon was, but we're not sure on that. So maybe it's maybe the males also came with the witches to our galaxy, and then that's still true that those are just the male female versions of the same species.
Or maybe it is that the closer, the more magic you get, the more deformed you get.
Maybe kind of like Palpatine and Darkseid got his face is like all mangled because of the Darkseid use.
And not just from him getting shocked.
Right. And
Because
so
because now that I think about it, maybe that's why her hair is getting gray so fast from the last time we saw her. Is maybe because she's becoming more tuned to the magic, and she's getting these dreams, and she's pushing towards the magic more, that she's de-aging.
right.
She's becoming this weird creature.
But it's also so George Lucas said originally that the magic is not a part of
The Force.
the Force, but Dave Filoni has said it is.
Since when?
Since Disney has taken over, where new canon's being made. So like,
Oh, that's annoying. I was literally told someone today that they're not the same.
so but that's also still very vague. Like we're not sure exactly. So I think it's just a dark side thing, and so
Oh, it is.
you wouldn't have to be that species to use it. You just have to be force sensitive, and you learn magic. I don't know. We don't know. Like that's just my best guess.
But
And like,
what's her name? Didn't even realize that she was a witch.
huh?
The Padawan. I
Yeah.
don't know why I keep forgetting her name.
Shin.
Shin. She didn't realize that she was a witch at all. And you would think if she was like force sensitive that she could have felt that.
I think that's less of a thing in Star Wars than we realize. That force sensitive people can just sense other force sensitive people.
That's true. Now that I think about it, because she thought Sabine had the force and she doesn't.
Right. So I think
I forgot about that part.
I think part of that,
like as you're higher up, you can sense the force in people.
that you have to have training in that, or you just test people like they tested Anakin in episode 1 with the pictures. Like they had to test him to see if he was force sensitive, apart from the midichlorian thing. So, and maybe that's why they took midichlorian samples, is because it's just an easier way to see if someone's if they're force sensitive.
It's a ship. It's a cup.
Yeah, stupid. It was like ship, cup, ship. Okay, well, that's really hard. It's like make it a little bit harder.
Like, I could have done that. Tell me what one to start with.
Yeah, like so. Anyway, they go talk to the Night Sisters, and they're like, "You've done well, Morgan. Like, thank you for being a faithful Night Sister or whatever." And they're saying, "Yeah, you spoke to me through dreams and all that stuff." And then the witches look to Sabine and say, "It reeks of Jedi." So then they arrest her with like these energy ball things that make this like lasso thing around her, which I thought was a cool.
It was pretty cool.
Cool thing. So like they're like, "It reeks of Jedi," calling Sabine an it. And I'm assuming they can sense
Ahsoka through her
like
her presence,
like the influence of a Jedi on someone, which is weird that Balin's not a Jedi. I thought it was kind of weird that they weren't weary of him.
Saying, I'm telling you, they were sensing Balin. Like that whole scene, I was thinking that they were actually talking about Balin, and they just grabbed Sabine. Like,
I don't think they would miss it that easily because he had a lightsaber right on his. They both have lightsabers on them.
But the chat's like saying like, wouldn't they? He was a Jedi, so wouldn't he reek too?
But maybe because he's no longer a Jedi and he's not acting like a Jedi.
He's a mercenary.
He's a mercenary, whereas Sabine might have the heart and mind of a Jedi in a sense. I don't know. It's magic stuff. It doesn't make sense yet. We don't know enough about it. We probably never will understand magic in Star Wars.
With a K.
Magic with a K. So Sabine gets arrested and goes down into a prison cell. And part of me is like, oh, is Ezra gonna be down there, like in the prison, like that's on the other side of the window or something? Like, hey, who's over there? Oh, I'm Sabine. I just got arrested. Sabine, hey, what's up? You found me finally. I've been sitting in this hole for 12 years.
Rogue One all over again.
Right. So, but that didn't happen. So she's just in there by herself. And then we get the name drop of Thrawn that I'm in here. Like, Morgan says something about Thrawn, like, he sent for me type of thing or whatever she said. I'm like, so we finally got, like, she's like, where's Thrawn? And they're like, he's on his way. I'm like, this is it. We're finally getting him. It's going to happen. And so then we get a little bit of a story, some one-on-one between like Shin and Balin. And he's just kind of looking out into distance, and he's like, this is a land of stories and fairy tales. And he starts talking about the cycles of the galaxy. It's over and over again. A power rises and then it falls. A power rises and it falls. So it happened with the Jedi. They rose and then fell. Then the Empire rose and fell. He's just saying it's an endless cycle. And that he's seeking a power that has to do with the beginning of where the cycles began. And so, what is this beginning exactly? We don't know. Super confusing. And later on, we get a little bit more information of what he's feeling, but like, we still don't know anything about Balin and his intentions and what exactly he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
If he's trying to like go back in time, I don't know. We thought he was going to do that, like trying to use the world between worlds, but I think the world between worlds is pretty much done moving forward for a while. So
yeah, I feel like he doesn't even know much about it.
The world between worlds?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder how many people even knew of the world between worlds. Like,
exactly.
In general. Because like they knew the temple on Lothal, like there's a Jedi temple there, and there's an access point to the world between worlds there, but I don't know. We'll never know. So we go back to Sabine in the prison cell, and she's just sitting there. Then she gets tired, like sore, so she gets up and starts stretching her legs, basically. And then she's like, "All right, I'm gonna use the Force to open this door." And things start shaking, and you're like, "Oh!" But then it's shaking a lot. And so, how fast did it take you to realize that this was a ship, Star Destroyer, coming?
Not until they showed it.
Oh, really? Like right away, I was like, "This is shaking way too much." Like, this is a Star Destroyer coming. And that's when I started getting hyped. I'm like, we're going to see the Star Destroyer. Thrawn's here. And it goes up on top of the temple, and everyone starts turning around looking, and then you see it come up over the temple. And it was great seeing this ship. It was like damaged, but it was repaired with the gold stuff that like these witches use apparently, because Morgan's space ring and her little small ships are all made of this gold material, and this ship is rebuilt and repaired with this gold metal stuff. So I thought it looked cool. I told Andrew last night, if they make a Lego set, I'm pre-ordering that.
Really?
Dude, okay, first of all, I want that Jedi cruiser,
You said
Republic
that,
cruiser.
are you
But
actually
this
gonna
one,
get it though?
I want to, but this one would be really cool to have. Pay $650 for like a 6,000 piece thing of this Chimera with the gold stuff on it. I think that would be cool.
You buy a nice stand for it.
and a
Put it
glass
on your
case,
your
over it.
your old snake tank.
That's long gone.
Oh,
It
geez.
wouldn't fit in there, dude. That ship would be so big. Um,
It would be. I mean, I've always said it'd be cool to get the Millennium Falcon, the big one, and put it in a desk, like a coffee table.
yeah,
Just have it like that. It'd be so cool.
but
Yeah.
yeah. What do you
Well,
think of
we're
that ship
holding.
when it arrived?
I loved it, dude. I thought it was so cool. I like you said. I like that there's like that gold medal that they added, and something that you didn't mention. Their little ship that they left from the ring ship was the ugliest ship of all time.
What? No, I love that ship, dude. I think we
The
seen it earlier.
triangle.
I like that cool ship, dude. I love it.
Uh, uh,
I
was it
liked
the
it
same one
earlier
before?
this season. I
Was
liked
it
it
the same
here.
one?
Huh?
It was the same one, huh?
I don't
Just
know if it's the
look
same one, but it was the same like concept. Probably the
looks
same one.
different to me.
I don't know. I like it. I think it looks cool.
It's so different and unique, but it's but by seeing this Thrawn thing, we can clearly see that that's like magic material.
Right.
Like it's part of their culture material.
Right.
So like Thrawn had it all over the ship. My only thing is kind of wish they would have repainted the thing underneath
Oh. The
because I love
yeah.
that logo underneath was so cool and intimidating. But I think it looks really sweet. I loved it.
Yeah. And so it comes in and the docking bay underneath Rhett comes down on top of the temple. I'm like,
It
that is a cool
fits
concept.
perfectly.
Like I would never have like guessed that a ship would do that, but it makes perfect sense. Like you could just lower down and then it's this open space and you just put a walking board like a walkway between the
Mhm.
thing and you're good to go. So it comes down, it lands above or hovers above the thing, and they're looking into the docking bay. You
This thing was so cool.
see all these stormtroopers. Like, I wasn't even like I knew that there was tons of troopers because it was a fully loaded star destroyer that was taken. So I was like, of course there's gonna be. But I was just thinking it was just gonna be mostly empty, and it was just gonna be Thrawn with some guards coming to greet him. But no, it was every trooper that they had,
Pretty much.
and
I mean, he did say their numbers were lower.
yeah, people have died in the past 12 years, which makes sense. Um,
But
but
yeah.
they're all like all their damage is repaired with the gold stuff, and it's like
Mhm.
also they have like a lot of them have like red ribbons holding things together. I don't know,
Yeah, it's like they're duct tape, like this
right?
is my duct tape.
But I don't know if you've seen online, but like in the subtitles, they're referred to as night troopers. So people are thinking that these are zombie troopers
Let's freaking go,
or
boy.
they're under the influence of magic in some way.
Well,
Um,
so I I had this conversation with my coworker today because their question was, "What was that Inquisitor? Why did they just?" Poof?
it was
Now
either
my thought
yeah,
is either it is a former Inquisitor who died and got zombified back to life, but there's no spirit or anything actually there, more like a puppet, something like that. And if that is the case, then this would make sense what these troopers could be.
right. So I don't think that they're zombies because there are dead troopers that they're taking from the catacombs and reloading them. So I think they're
That's
just
true.
they're
That's
ones that have survived, but they're somehow they're under the influence of magic. I think,
true. Mm. And
but
maybe that main trooper is a magic user because
could
we don't
be
know. It could be it could be a sister. for all we know.
Right. It is Enoch, which is a male name, and I think called him he, but
It's
I don't know.
2022,
We don't
bro.
know anything about this guy, this Enoch guy. His number one
He looks
trooper.
super cool with that helmet, though.
You gonna get that
Oh,
Black Series?
dude, if they drop that helmet, it's
They
gonna
can.
look super dope next to my Ahsoka helmet, dude. Both those next to each other. Sorry, old Boba Fett and the white Boba Fett. You go in the closet because those two are gonna go right up next to the Mando helmet, bro, and it's gonna look sick in my room.
So yeah, so they start chanting Thrawn, Thrawn, Thrawn,
It was
and
so.
then you see him walk from the back through the crowd of lines of troopers. Now, the one thing that I didn't like about the scene was they didn't just do a straight organ theme. Like they had organ music playing, but it was like rock music with organ in it. Like it was.
Yeah,
I just wish they just only played the
his
organ
theme.
music, the theme from Rebels. I think it would have been more impactful for people who haven't seen Thrawn yet, because like his theme is like part of his character. It's like Darth Vader and his breathing, like they go hand in hand for me. So now later on in the episode, we do hear his theme briefly in the background music.
Mhm.
But either way, he's walking through this crowd. They're chanting his name, and we finally see him walk out. And he's like, "What was once a dream is now a frightening reality," or something like that. And he's just
So cool.
sounding great. It's just weird seeing him in live action now finally, because he looks a lot different than Rebels Thrawn,
Mm-hmm.
which it is what it is. I think that it's the chin jawline.
Not long enough.
It's not like square enough, I think, or maybe I don't know.
Mhm.
It's just not the same shape. So like seeing him talk and like he like smirked when we first see him a little bit, and like we've never seen Thrawn smirk before. I don't think we've seen him smile. So it's like it was weird seeing that. But other than that, like, dude, his eyes are scary.
Super scary. There was one point where like I couldn't stop watching his eyes. I was like, I need to focus on this scene. Like in my mind, I was like, his glowy red eyes are distracting.
Right. So he just comes out and he thanks Morgan for her good work and the Night Sisters, and he's like, "We can finally get out of here." And she's like, "All right, well, I saw your catacombs, and you're gonna need to unload the catacombs. Like, it takes 3 days." And he's like, "That's a good amount of time." Um, and the Night Sisters are like, try to like throw them under the bus. Oh, they brought a prisoner. They brought someone else. Like he's like, I didn't know about this. Like, oh, we didn't see it coming. And then they're like, oh, these mercenaries. Dude, I love that when she introduces Balin, or Morgan introduces Balin and Shin, and right away Thrawn knows, oh, you're General Balin Skull, the Jedi. So he knows, like, memorized every single
Yeah.
Jedi from the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So he just knew that name, and he's like, oh, and he's like, well, I'm not. I left them a long time ago, type of thing. And then Morgan's like, oh, they brought Sabine Wren. You know, oh, that's a familiar
That's a
name.
name that's familiar.
And so he's like, she will definitely be of good use to us. And so then
Balin was like in the background, like, yes, I told you. Yeah.
And so then immediately they go to like have a meeting with Sabine. So Sabine gets brought in, and she's like, Thrawn. He's like, Sabine Wren, it's nice to see a familiar face after all these years. And right away, Sabine's like, where's Ezra? Like, oh, of course, your friend. Of course, you're here to find him. And you know what a tragedy is that your endeavor to find him will cost the galaxy so much or whatever he says. He says it way better. I'm not as cool as Thrawn. So, but he's like, you help me. Like, I have you to thank, because if it wasn't for you, like, not destroying the map, I'd be stuck here forever. So thank you. And because of that, I'm going to help you. I'm going to let you go find Ezra on your own. And she's like, that's it? Like, yeah, I'm going to let you go find Ezra. And later on, we find out it's because he wants her to find him so he can kill them both. So she's like, all right, well, what kind of rides do you got around here? And we finally get introduced to these howlers, which are like,
Well, we saw them as they're flying in.
I didn't see that till later on, like after like a second
I
time
saw
watching.
right away. I'm like, oh, look, Dave Filoni added his wolves. Like that's.
Well, I said in my reaction, I was like, what are these wannabe wolves? Like,
Yeah.
Because they're like
With giant noses.
Dog slash bat slash rats
Slash
like,
horse.
Like there's some weird looking things, and they load up Sabine. Like, all right, you go out. Here's your weapons, and go out. And Thrawn earlier, Thrawn is like, let's let you know that when my ship leaves, like you're stranded here forever. So like, make it quick type of thing, which is kind of weird that like it implies that he's like, if you want to come back, you have to come with me back on my ship before we leave. But that would mean that Ezra would be with her, because she's not going to find Ezra and just leave him. So it's kind of weird that
it was like saying that they need to go to Thrawn.
Right. So she got given all these supplies and like scanners and stuff. And I don't know if you noticed, but they, with her food rations, there was some beans. Did you see those beans?
I did.
Yeah.
They kind of look like coffee beans.
Coffee beans. Yeah. So, and if you zoom in with your 4K TV, you can see it says right on the package, Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Who happened to be our sponsor today. So whether you're here on this planet in a different galaxy or a Dathmiri witch, you can enjoy some coffee and tea from Wesley Andrews. So let's hear a commercial from our sponsor.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it. All right. Cool. So Sabine runs out into the wilderness, and Baylan, Shin, Morgan, Thrawn, and maybe Enoch, I think, are on the ledge of the temple watching her. And this is where we find out Thrawn's plan. He's like, yeah, the promise of us letting her go search for a thing, we fulfilled our promise. That's all we promised. And Baylan and Shin, you're going to go and find her, and you're going to take 2 squads of troopers with you. And once the 2 are found together, eliminate them. And that's Thrawn's plan, is just to kill him. So apparently he's not able to find Ezra, which I think is a weird thing. like we said earlier. But whatever, it is what it is. And in this scene, I really felt like Shin was questioning everything. Like she was
Yeah.
really confused. Like, what? What are we doing? Like, this is the
Yeah.
plan. Like, I feel like she's gonna betray Balin.
I don't. I think they're both gonna betray Thrawn, or like not betray Thrawn, but Balin's getting more and more clouded the opinions, and like we've seen this from the beginning with him not wanting to kill Ahsoka. Clearly, he failed at killing Ahsoka. He didn't know he didn't kill her, but because he doesn't watch Star Wars and realize if you fall off a cliff, you don't die. Come on.
Right.
So
See, I don't think. I
I
think
just
Balin has, like I said, I think he has his own agenda. So I think he's on the path that he's always been on. But Shin doesn't know exactly what. Shin is just as confused as we
she's
are about.
lost. Yeah.
But I think, but the fact that like they're like she's fought Sabine and
Mhm.
and like they're enemies, but now she's like, but we're just gonna randomly kill him. Like
Yeah, she doesn't seem.
she's confused on what's going on, and I think that's she's gonna portray something, or she's gonna
Well,
save Sabine
and
somehow
they
or
had a weird
something.
look, didn't they? They
Who?
kind of looked at each other, like Sabine and her, when they're talking at some point in this episode. Like they had like a
Maybe I
look
don't
at
know.
each other.
Maybe I'm sure they looked at each other when they entered the room, but they've already were on the hyperspace ring together, so it's like I don't know.
Oh, she was in jail.
Right. But yeah, so this is the scene where we hear subtly Thrawn's organ theme, which I thought was not loud enough because I want it loud. I think we're gonna get it
We'll
when
get it.
I think maybe next episode or something when he's like directing all of his troopers and telling the Night Sisters what to do. Like we're gonna see him be Thrawn at his best with his I would say strategery, but that's not a word. His strategic command, and we're gonna hear his music just.
Blaring.
I hope we see like behind the scenes of this some old guy on the organ like playing it like he's never played the organ before. But
Did they release a new episode of Behind the Scenes?
there was like a little like minute and a half thing from last week's episode of like Hayden.
Hayden, but that was like a clip. Is there like a full
Yeah.
breakdown
I don't think so.
on Disney Plus?
There might be eventually. Did you watch the clip?
I didn't watch the clip.
So one was really cool. Hayden Christensen and Rosario Dawson were in acting school together.
Oh, cute.
So like they already knew each other because I've seen them like a picture
They're
of
like,
them
they act like
before.
they're best friends. Oh, that young photo, right?
Well,
Of her as
well,
like
I thought it was just they just met at like she just met Hayden Christensen at some point and took a picture together.
yeah, when they're younger.
But apparently they knew each other from before the prequels or something like that. So that's cool. And so then like they had
Oh no, there's no new episode.
because they were like friends in the past, didn't see each other for a long time, and then reconnected. It was kind of like the same mentality as Anakin and Ahsoka. They were friends together, hadn't seen each other for a while, then they reconnected. So it was like the same kind of feel that they could live out. Like it wasn't like acting; it was actually real in a sense.
And Hayden's like honestly having like a redemption arc in his acting career.
Is he doing other acting or other than Star Wars?
No, but he's redeemed. Like he's changing. Like I don't know. Like he's just
Like what else is there for him to do? Like I don't know if there's. We got him in Obi-Wan. We got him in Ahsoka. Like what else is there for him to show up in? Like
a movie. There's
I
so much more potential now.
I don't.
He could literally be coaching Rey in the movie as a Force ghost.
That'd be stupid. I would hate that.
You would hate that, but
I would hate that.
I would not be surprised. Like we got Luke, like as a Force ghost, and then Yoda shows up, and then Qui-Gon, and then Obi-Wan, and then Hayden.
I just picture like an Avatar: The Last Airbender with like all the past avatars like show up and like
Yeah,
in a line for all back history.
it's a party. Yeah, well, it's a party, man. Jedi party.
Jedi part. Why? um, but yes. So let's see. Where am I in my notes?
Under Jedi party, you're there. You're at the part where you thought that what's her name is gonna betray.
Right. But it was hard to take notes on because it was like all over the place. But
Sabine's on her.
so okay, I'm just gonna do all this Sabine stuff, and then we'll go back to the other stuff, just so we don't have to jump back and forth. So Sabine's going along on top of this, so the Howler, and
They become best friends in like 10 minutes.
no, that's not yet. That's later on, because
Oh.
she's just using him as a mount.
Yeah, that's true.
Then she gets off, and she's using her little like scanner thing, and then she gets jumped by a bunch of
Samurais
raider bandit things.
in
Which
samurai gear, like straight up.
okay, it wasn't straight up.
Dude,
There was some similar things, but it wasn't like straight up samurai. Like, but it was very interesting because their blasters were different. They didn't shoot like red or green lasers.
what color did they shoot? I didn't even look at
It wasn't like a laser shot. It was, I don't know if it was like a little like ball of energy or something, but it wasn't like you didn't see the line.
Different galaxy.
So like, I don't know like what if it was a projectile, and I don't think it was a projectile, but it was just different, which I noticed.
I didn't notice that, but that would make sense because their technology is different.
Right. And so
I mean, you can see by Morgan's ship, but like, it's so weird.
Right. So Sabine is holding her own pretty well against, I don't know, there was like 5 or 6 of them, and she's just utilizing her Beskar armor.
Mm-hmm. It felt cool because it felt like we were watching Mando too. Like it had those like she was blocking, she got hit, and it was like bouncing off. Like it really felt like, oh, it was cool. And
Yeah,
Beskar is strong in all galaxies, man.
There was one shot where it was like right in her chest plate, and she just kept going. And then she starts to get overpowered a little bit. She gets knocked down. She's like, all right. She whips out her lightsaber, and she actually was doing she did pretty well with that, to the point where they ran off. Like the leader, like stopped and ran, like looked like this is not good. We can't fight her. And then the one guy with like the staff, she cuts both ends off it. He's like, well, I'm pretty useless now. So he runs. So I thought the guy, like the leader who like stopped, and like there's like a scene where like it goes to him like this watching and reacting. I thought he was, for a second I was like, is that Ezra? Like, and he realized, oh wait, that's my lightsaber. That's a Sabine. Like, I thought maybe something like that.
Still too fast for me, but yeah, it would be cool.
And so, well, then at this point, right when she gets shot, like the first time, like off the Howler runs off. And so then, after the band sleep, she starts walking because she doesn't have him anymore, and her scanner's
broken.
And so then the dog is following behind her, and she starts yelling at the dog, and the dog like crouches, like puts his head down. Like,
it was so cool.
It was so sad. I felt so bad for that. I'm like, he's getting shot at.
He's like, you betrayed me. You left me alone. And then he was like that. I'm like, dude, everyone's had that moment with their dog where they've been mad at their dog and their dog is behind them pouting and like still following them. And you're like, I don't want to look at you because you're in trouble right now. Like it was super like, it was one of those moments that's super relatable. Like everyone's had that moment. I had that moment with my dog literally yesterday at the park.
Yeah, what did Ahsoka do?
Well, because I was throwing the ball to her off, and she's really good off leash, like really good. Like she's better off leash than she is on leash. And she saw this little kid, and the little kid was playing with Miles, and of course Ahsoka wanted to go play with the little kid, So she runs and like goes up to this little kid, and she's a scary looking dog, and the little kid started crying because they were on the park, and we were like, Ahsoka, don't go to the park. And then she did, and then she knew she was in trouble right away. But actually, Stephanie was the one that was laying down the law.
Scary.
Facts.
But yeah, so then like Sabine like shushes like bats him away to like run away. So he walks off. She walks off screen, and then the dog starts coming back. And then she finally, all right, fine, I'll give you another chance. And then the dog gets all happy, like, all right, let's do this. And she's like, all right, well, you gotta help me. This is your planet. Like, what do we do? And so the dog starts sniffing around. I'm like, okay, and she goes and follows the dog, and then they go to this spot where it's like a little stream, and he starts drinking water. She's like, oh, you just wanted the water. And then the dog
You're just
starts,
thirsty.
yeah, and the dog starts sniffing around more and starts sniffing this rock. And Sabine's like, it's just a rock. And like, part of me was like, I was thinking of at the beginning of Rogue One where she lifts up that rock and like
Oh
climbs
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Like, is there like a hatch here that Ezra like has like underground? I think this is like a rock covering a hatch or something,
Which would have been cool.
which would have been cool. But we get this turtle man. Like, I just don't get it.
Bootleg.
It was the most out of Star. This was like straight out of like Lord of the Rings or like some like fantasy.
It reminded me of Harry Potter.
Maybe something from Harry Potter. So this is with all of Sabine's stuff, like the journey and finding this weird dog, like riding this weird dog and finding this these turtle civilization and stuff, and like the fact that we're like in a magic world and there's like statues. Like, I think the reason why this planet looks like this was by Dave Filoni, like created this world like this, is because it's seen as like a fairy tale and stories, and it's taking that fairy tale feel that you see like in a fantasy movie or show of like weird creatures and like a journey, and like taking like those journeys from like the Lord of the Rings and other shows, like
Yeah.
where it's just that fantasy thing, and it's like playing off the Jedi's stories of fairy tales and making it come to life to be real. So
Well, 'cause even Balin was saying in this whole episode, like he was like pausing, and his Padawan's like, "What's wrong?" And he was like, This has been a fairy tale to me my whole life.
right,
Like these are stories that I've heard as a kid, and now I'm in them."
right. And he's like, at one point he says like, well, I hope the stories are true. But it's like, I think that's what the show creators were doing with Sabine's thing and like the aesthetic and these creatures, was to portray.
It did actually. Now that you say that, it felt very Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. And I feel like there's like fantasy cartoons from like the 80s that I think some people, I heard someone like Willow, like that old movie Willow. And so I haven't watched that movie or the TV series, but I think it's supposed to just mimic that kind of aesthetic and fairy tale lore and stuff like that. So I get why they're doing that, but I thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
That being, they're like the turtle guys, but they had like a suit on, like
that's it. Kind of yeah. It almost felt like you're watching like a D&D show or something. Like
right.
Like they were creatures and they were wearing like weird outfits. Yeah. I understand why it definitely will take you out of the feel of Star Wars. But for me, I think it works with what they're doing with the story. Like it is a magical place. It is different.
Right.
Like, and from seeing these creatures and seeing the other people that she killed, there's a good magic element and a bad magic element.
Yeah, maybe. But But yeah, so these creatures are called the Noti, Noti. That's from the subtitles, Noti.
Mm-hmm.
And so I
What
noticed
language were they speaking?
Noti, the Noti language. That's what
How
its
did
subtitle said.
Sabine know it?
Okay, so I was confused at first, but when she is first given the howler, the Enoch says Tota, which is lay down,
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, okay, that's just what he says. Tell him to go down. But later on, when the one turtle tells all of his friends to get up, he says Toto. So Tota is down,
And
Toto is
Toto is
up. Which I think I figured crack that code. So I speak
You speak
a little bit of Toti,
when you get your Great Dane. That's how you gotta.
Noti, a Great Dane. Teach them an alien language.
Yeah, dude, that'd be so dope. Because like Ahsoka knows Hmong, but to like,
Ahsoka, your dog,
yes,
knows
sorry.
the
My
Hmong
dog's
language.
name is Ahsoka, and like she knows Hmong, so to teach your dog an alien, like Ewok or something, would be so cool.
I bet there's like some diehard,
Oh, dude,
diehard Star Trek fans that have
well,
taught their pets Klingon,
I mean,
because that's like a fully like written out language that people can actually learn. I think so.
yeah, and the same with Elvish.
Right.
So like, if you did that with like. That'd be like just a bunch of different Star Wars languages, and you just take what words you want. Like, oh yeah, this is Huttese, and like,
Shuriwook.
yeah,
um.
he catches the ball.
Yeah. So Sabine. So first of all, the howler wants to eat the turtle because he's hungry, but Sabine like, no, stop, dog. Like, let me talk to this guy. See if what he can like. I'm looking for my friend Ezra. Blah blah blah. Do you like? I'm looking for a friend. What's going
Because
on?
he sees her
Right.
involved.
So eventually he sees the rebel symbol on her armor and points to it. And she's like, "Do you know Ezra? Like, did you see the symbol from Ezra?" And he opens up his chest, and like under his shirt, he has like a medallion, wood looking medallion with the
No, because
rebels.
first she said, "Oh, you like the symbol? Like, do you like the way it looks?" And then he pulled it out, and then she's
Right.
like, "Wait, hold up. Do you know Ezra?"
And then he wakes up all of his other buddies, and they start like talking to each other.
All these rocks that we didn't really notice before.
Yeah. And so then she started talking to him again, like, "Do you know Ezra?" And then he does actually say Ezra, like the
Mhm.
Bridger, like he actually says the name in English. And so you're like, all right, let's go. And so then they start following, and then they go to the village. And I'm like, there's this little village. I'm like, is Ezra here? Like, Thrawn couldn't find this village. Like, how hard is that to find a village? But so she's walking through, and she's just seeing like the world, the way of life. They're just little shops, and there's little baby Noti, and then there's eating food and stuff. And then it looks at her, and then the camera pans, and then leaning up in the back was a human. I'm like, is that Ezra? Oh, it's Ezra. And it focuses, and he's like, what do you say? It's about time you found me, or whatever.
Mhm.
And she turns around, barely any emotion, just has a little smile on her face. And like, you finally, it took you long enough. Whatever. And she's
Yeah.
like, and then they finally
Embrace
hug, and
slowly. Yell
like,
Snow said earlier in the chat, what did he say? He said, I saw someone say it looks like it they saw each other at the grocery store a week after a party. Like,
did I meet you last week? Like, were you
yeah,
at some
like,
party? Like,
oh, what's up? Like, yeah, you're like, it is very anticlimactic scene. Like, it's very just like, oh, finally you're here. After I decided to destroy my entire galaxy potentially to come save you. I risk everything for you. But what's up, bud? Like, like it was just like, what?
yeah, like, I know that they wanted to portray it as like a beautiful scene, like like they wanted to do it rather than like an action scene where there's no emotion. So they tried to make it emotional, but like she should have cried.
She should have bawled.
Like she should have just started like
If she would have just started breaking down in that moment and he went and hugged her and she's just sitting there crying on his chest, like she fell to the ground crying because she was so happy to see him, and then he went around and hugged her.
yeah, or if she just started crying and she just sprinted and
Yeah,
almost tackles him with a
yeah,
hug, and she starts crying and she's like that would have been so much better. Like
yeah.
I don't know, it is what it is. I'm happy. Thrawn's back or Ezra's back. Like
They're on his back.
I just want to know if he's been continuing trying to learn the Force. Like, is he like super powerful now in the Force, or is he just like forgotten about it and he's like
How do you
Grogu
know?
and doesn't know how to use it anymore? But I'm hoping next week or in the finale, like he's able to connect with the whales or something, or he's able to connect with the animals because he's always had a thing where he can connect with the animals. That's Ezra's thing. It's like, is he gonna like awaken animals from all around the land to like?
It would be very out of character for him to just like push the Force away.
Right. But it's one of those things like, would he have needed it? So like, Luke says in Mando season 2 finale, like, talent without training is nothing. Like, if he's just hanging out with these turtle guys, like, he doesn't need to use the Force. Like, he wouldn't need to train.
And maybe he didn't use the Force so the Night Sisters couldn't find him.
Maybe
Because
that's possible.
in this scene, or as they are talking or whatever, he tells them to like, all right, time to pack up. We got to keep moving. Like they always are moving around. So they're never in the same place more. Like they're always packing up and leaving.
Right, because that's what he says. Like, they never stay in one spot. They're a nomadic
Mm-hmm.
thing. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So this part where he asks her, like, how did you find me? And she's like, I don't want to talk about this right now. Can I just enjoy the moment now of I finally found you and just like enjoy that? And he's like, sure, that's fine. But
Which is stupid.
why is that stupid?
Because she didn't even enjoy it when she first saw him.
Well, whatever. There's that. But like, it'd be kind of lame. Like, you see someone for the first time and all this time, and then like you're like, all right, well, I kind of screwed the whole universe and like just kind of ruined that. Like, she just wants to enjoy her friend before crap hits the fan.
Because it's going to happen.
Right.
She still has 2 days, though.
Right.
Maybe. I don't really know. But
Because like,
we're assuming this happened in 1 day.
right.
We never saw Nightfall.
Right. So I think crap's gonna hit the fan, whether if it's with Balin and Shin with some bandits that attack him or stuff. But I really hope, like I said, that he's been continuing with the Force and like he's just. Also, why didn't she give him his lightsaber back? Like, hey, I got your lightsaber. Like,
Well, I mean, like you said, like she didn't want to talk about anything. She just want to hang out. Like
so
that might happen.
if he's super OP now in the Force and he gets his saber back, he just takes out like everybody.
Or maybe somehow he has his own already that he made there.
That'd be cool.
Because remember, what's his name said that is her saber now. She's modified it.
Right.
So maybe he actually has his own version of like a magical saber.
Right. Or he's been collecting parts all these years in case like he can. Well, because I think was it said or something that like, or maybe in a previous episode, like the Jedi traveled to Peridia.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's like sabers that he found on the planet or kyber crystals they found from fallen Jedi or something. That'd be cool. But
there's got to be more creatures on this planet too. Like, there's no way it's just these samurais and turtles and witches.
Right. So I'm hoping he has this whole fleet of animals, and then he has he's super strong in the Force, and he's just OP. I hope.
He's just waiting for the day to
Yep.
attack,
Yeah.
and these turtles are like you can shoot them across. It's like with
It's
the
like
Force, just eat them,
it's
and
like
they
Mario Kart. You shoot the
yeah
shells to like.
yeah exactly.
um, but yeah, and then Ezra just thanks her for finding him and says, "I can't wait to go home." And I'm like, it's not that easy. But so that's the end of the Sabine Ezra stuff. There's one scene with Balin and
And
Shin. They find the bandits that Sabine killed, and they just kind of like are talking. And there's an interesting conversation because Shin's like, I think so. This is like when since her being here is when she I think learned of Ezra, and she asks, "Oh, did you remember Ezra?" He's like, "No, he was too young. He's a Boken Jedi, someone trained after the Jedi fell." Which a Boken is a wood sword that samurais would practice with, which is I don't know if that means anything else within Japanese culture of like a Boken samurai. I don't know if it's a thing or not, but either way, it's cool that we learned this that side like Jedi that are trained on the side and not like part of the Jedi are called Boken Jedi. Um, and Shin is like, "Well, do you miss the Jedi Order?" And he says, "Like I miss the idea of the Jedi, but like I understand the truth of reality. Like they were just a power that rose and then fell." And so, and then he's like, "There's something on this planet that is calling to me, and it's powerful. It's like a power that the witches are fleeing from. Like, because I think it's implying that the witches are going to go with Thrawn, but they're fleeing something also on this planet that they want to get off of and escape. So there's something on this planet that he's searching for that's a power, and so we don't know what that is exactly.
It's the turtles.
I don't know. Unless that power that he senses is Ezra, and he discovers that Ezra is the
But
key
why would
to,
they want to escape from Ezra?
I don't know, maybe he's just so
And
powerful
they're gonna
that,
let Thrawn capture Ezra? Like,
I don't know.
I think
Maybe
there's something else there that's even worse than all of them, and somehow these samurai creatures are working with them.
I
And
don't think they're creatures. I think they're just people with armor.
well, yeah, like
But
sand
like,
people or something. It's like their version
right,
of sand people. But like as they're having this conversation, they show up
right.
and they're like Shin was gonna fight them, and then he said, "Well, the enemy of our enemy is our friend."
Right. So they're gonna join together to fight, but I don't know. Well, I don't know what this Balin's deal is. I don't know what this power is that's calling to him. I like it would be weird to like introduce a whole new power or like threat to the galaxy now. Like it just kind of be weird. So it's like whatever it is, they have to do it well. Like it has to be
And quick.
right. They only got unless it's a Grisk. I don't know. Like there's a Grisk on this planet that's I don't know. I'm just wanting Grisk, but we're not gonna get him for a while if they ever do. But so that's that. So earlier on in the episode, because we were kind of doing storyline by storyline, uh, Enoch goes to Thrawn about Balin and Shin. They're on their way going after Sabine, and he's like, "All right, just send 2 squads of troopers." And Morgan's like, "Are you sure you don't want more?" And Thrawn pauses for a second. It's like, "No, we've had many losses over the years. 2 will be sufficient, or whatever." And like you said, she just listened and submitted to that. So Thrawn acknowledges that. We see also the catacombs being emptied. So like all these coffins are being raised and brought back into the ship, which I didn't realize that these Star Destroyers had like hundreds of coffins that they used for dead bodies. Like I just figured it's the Empire. If someone dies, they just leave them. They don't care. But
Well, who's to say they don't, but Thrawn does.
that too, because he wants people to believe that he can be trusted and that he cares about them just so he can use them. Now, unless like these are not, these catacomb like these coffins are not dead bodies, maybe they're just like in a state, like they're just kind of like in a sleeping thing because they're too injured to heal. And he's like, all right, we're just gonna put you to sleep until.
Or who's to say that
Because
they're
from the Ascendancy trilogy, the Magus puts her in the thing to keep her quiet and puts her to sleep. So he's done this. Maybe he's done it because he's done this before, like to keep people alive and quiet. Just puts them in the sleep chamber until further use. It makes sense. What are you gonna say?
so, or maybe that this is the spirit of these zombies, like the bodies of these troopers that are all dead, and like they're not actually there.
That'd be cool.
Like maybe like all these dead people are actually these troopers.
Maybe.
I think it would be so cool if we end up getting these things as zombies. Like it'd be so cool. Or like not zombies technically, but like just whatever they're called. Like green dust people. Like it'd be such a cool thing. And like we said earlier, like they're red and like they literally looked like the images that you got from like if you look at the new um Death Trooper cover art for the new book, or it's an old book, it's not canon, it's a zombies book, but like they kind of look the same, like they look similar in that art. So it'd be really cool if they just like took that concept and like made it their own via through the magic.
Right.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it'd be cool also if like we get a flashback of like a battle between Thrawn and the troopers against like the Night Sisters or something. Like that'd be cool. Like
and
to
somehow
see,
you won
because there's no way he arrives on this planet and they're like, "Hey, Thrawn, it's good to have you." Like there had to have been a conflict, and then Thrawn won the conflict, and that's why they now submit to him.
And like, are these clones just die? Like, if they actually died, like, is it just through starvation?
Maybe.
Like,
so
you don't have to feed clones if they're not there.
So I hope it'd be cool to get a flashback, but I don't know if we'll get that. But so then the final scene that we get is Thrawn is called to the docking bay, and he's like, "Oh, the witches needed to talk to me," and they're like, "We sense someone else is coming, a Jedi coming with travelers." So like they call the whales travelers, I think. And he's like, "This is very unfortunate news." And he's like, "This wouldn't happen to be Ahsoka Tano, the recently deceased Jedi." And looks over at Morgan. Balin said that she was killed, and he's like, "Well, we're not going to assume that she's dead until we got a body." So he understands Star Wars. He got a body.
Ron watches Star Wars.
Yeah, he actually pays attention. He sees all the details. But he has a line that I thought was really confusing because he says, Jedi and Night Sisters both use death and resurrection to deceive. But like, what does that mean? Like, when did the Jedi do that? Like, there's in the Clone Wars, like there's an arc where they fake Obi-Wan's death to trick Anakin to like go on a mission, but like when do like obviously with the Night Sisters, like they make zombies all the time. Like yeah, like we get that, but like when did Jedi use death and resurrection to deceive people? Like I didn't understand.
He's been talking to Palpatine too much, getting those Palpatine rumors and lies.
Maybe.
Do you think the spirit of Palpatine is somehow communicating to Thrawn?
No. I think Palpatine had his plan set in place the whole time, and it's just being executed by his followers. But yeah, and so then Thrawn is like, all right, if any Star Whales come into the system, attack with prejudice, just slaughter them. So I'm nervous because I think we're gonna see a lot of whales die next week. It's gonna be sad. And like the big one that has Ahsoka, like he's gonna be like the last. He's gonna be like fighting, like going all out, like to save his pod of people because he's the leader, seemingly. And I'm just gonna be sad to see all
They
these
do
whales.
travel there to die.
That is true, but it's like to die naturally, not slaughtered by. But like, and then so then Thrawn like turns away from Morgan and goes to the witches and like, once again, I need you to use your dark magic. Like, oh dang, like we're gonna see a Star Destroyer versus whales, and we're gonna see dark magic against the whales.
And what do the whales have to defend themselves? They're
They're
blowholes or missile launchers.
But like, I think it's be cool.
Literally 2-3 against 1,000, like so many people. Like, there's got to be other things to help them out.
I don't know. I'm just excited to see dark magic on a large scale being used.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be crazy. Like people who are casual Star Wars fans, they're gonna see this like, what the heck is going on? This is Star Wars.
I'm gonna have so many questions by casual fans.
So I'm just excited for that standoff, that fight. Like, how does Ahsoka like get to the surface? Is she gonna get shot down? Is she gonna land safely? Like, is she gonna get captured while in space? Like, is Sabine and Ezra gonna save Ahsoka? Which is kind of funny. Like, she goes to save Ezra, type of thing, but or goes to save them too. But then they actually save her. Like,
I think that's more likely. They're gonna see it all happen, no matter how far you are away from them. Like, they're only a horse dog away. Like, they're not that far away. So like, they're gonna see all this commotion once these whales show up. And Sabine's gonna realize, I think, that Ahsoka is there.
So the question is, do you think that at the end of next episode, or is it going to be the end of the finale where the Star Destroyer hooks up to the hyperspace ring and goes back to our planet?
I think it's the next episode.
So then the final episode, we're going to see in our galaxy of crap going down, like the remnants of the Empire coming together. It would be crazy if like the finale is when they show him leave. So it's like it ends with him going back to our galaxy, and that's how the show ends. We don't even see him arrive at our galaxy. That would be the biggest cliffhanger ever. But yeah. So I don't know. This episode, like I said, was the good parts were really good, but the rest of it was just kind of underwhelming. But I'm glad we finally see Thrawn. I'm glad we have our boy Ezra back. But yeah, anything else, Drew?
No.
All right, cool. Well, we'll transition over to voicemail time then.
It's voicemail time.
All right, cool. We actually got quite a few voicemails. We have 6 voicemails. We haven't had that many in a while. So last week we had a first time sender, Shadrick, send in a voicemail, and he has sent 2 this week. So let's
Oh,
take
cool.
a listen to his first one.
Hey guys, Shadrick again. Yes, Shadrick. But if you guys want it, you can call me Shad. It's whatever. Either way, it's fine with me. I've heard way worse. But I figured I'd send you guys another voicemail, a little less awkward one or whatever. Oh, and by the way, now that I think about it, I think I started watching you guys, not watching, but listening to you guys, probably around when season 3 of Mando came out, because I just love hearing people's thoughts and stuff on stuff I love to watch or whatever. But also, fun fact about me, I apparently have the same birthday as Hayden Christensen, the chosen one. April 19th. We were both Aries babies. The last day of an Aries, actually. But I'm going to send a 2-parter, but my second voicemail is going to be my actual question. So yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Cool. Well, you mentioned that you listen to us, not watch us. Well, let's go click the subscription button on
subscribe.
YouTube just for fun to see what we look like, just so we, get that. And also, you said you like to listen to stuff that people talk about, stuff that you've watched. Well, on our YouTube channel, we do have Drew and I do a breakdown of The Last of Us. We did a 1-episode review of the show only on YouTube.
Yeah.
So if you watch that show, go check us out for our
I
review
totally
on that
forgot
show.
about that too.
Well, I think it was only like an hour long or something like that. So
Yeah.
go check that out and hit that subscribe button while you're there, Chadrick.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. So, and also that's cool. Same birthday as the chosen one, as you said. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if I share a birthday with anyone famous. Do you share a birthday with anyone famous?
Not that I know of.
I'm sure if you
But
Google it, there's
my
somebody.
birthday is on National Coffee Day.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
That's you were born to do what you do.
Apparently.
Look at that. All right, well, let's take a listen to Shadrick's second voicemail.
Now, here is my question. So next month, I am going to Disney, and I'm hoping when I go to Galaxy's Edge, I'm able to make my own lightsaber. Yes, I heard the Disney lightsabers aren't the best, but I heard the experience is worth it. But my
Okay.
question is, what, like, do you guys, have any, preferences on what I should get, parts? Like, for example, my 2 favorites are Anakin's lightsaber from Revenge of the Sith and Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. Those are my 2 favorites. So, especially Drew, I would like Drew's opinion, especially because I believe he's been there a lot. And obviously, I'd love all your opinions, but please, you guys are my only hope. Thank you. Shadrick out.
I've been
All
there
right,
3
cool.
times, not that much.
More than most people go in a lifetime, so
That's fair. But Andrew's been there.
I have not been there.
Tantan's been there.
He was just there
last week. So
Um,
I'm not the only one anymore.
yeah. So now at the Galaxy's Edge for saber making, can people make a curved hilt?
No.
No. I was gonna say if you can get a curved hilt, do a curved. I like the curved hilts. So,
Yeah.
But if they don't got that, go with a yellow kyber crystal. I like the yellow blade. That's my favorite.
I believe you can pick that. Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know anything about lightsabers. So Drew, take it
So
away.
what's cool about the building one, and I've said this in the past, I own 2 Galaxy's Edge lightsabers. They're not the best compared to my other one. But what's cool about the building one is like you said, it's an experience. You're going there, there's a whole show, and you do stuff together. And my brother-in-law has done it, and I was with him. I was his +1 to the show, and so I was able to experience it without buying one. And I kind of wish I would have done it. And if I ever go back to Galaxy's Edge, I'll most likely do it myself. um I should say when I go back to Galaxy's Edge, but next year. But with that, I think what I would do is do like I believe it's called light side or like so there's like a dark side, a Jedi side, and then like two other things. There's like an earth side where you can get like a bone, like a saber tooth looking thing at the end of your hilt and make it more like woody looking, more like natural things, which I feel like Jeremiah, you would probably like that thing. But you don't have to add the bone thing,
Right.
but some people do. But there's like a lighter side that's more like clean metal, and that's similar to like Anakin saber and like Obi-Wan's, where it's just like very minimalist look and stuff like that. And then I agree, like the yellow kyber crystal is cool. And what's cool about building your own lightsaber there is that you can buy afterwards. You can buy any kyber crystal you want and always add it in and change the color yourself. So you can do that too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have fun at Disney. But do you see what I just wrote in the chat?
You gotta read it now that you said that, Jeremiah.
Gakman820, who's also in the Discord by a different name, says Jeremiah honestly reminds me of Gunji. What? I don't know. I like Gunji. I think
He said, I don't know. He just has that vibe.
Gunji's lightsaber is in my top 5, which is on a podcast, top 5 lightsabers. So
I see that. That's why I feel like
I like the wood.
yeah,
hilt.
you can
Like
get like a
that's
wood hilt looking thing. Like I feel like, and Gunji's cool. He's just like a really cool, fun guy.
fun guy. Gunji.
I don't know.
Gunjai.
Gunja.
All right. That was awesome. But yeah. So I hope to hear from you again. Shadrach, join the Discord. I feel like you like to hang out with some of us in the Discord. It's a lot of fun. Next up, from our boy, Daddy Palps. Let's take a listen.
Aw.
Hey guys, Daddy Palps here. I had a quick thing that I learned today. I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw online that it said that Hu Yang is 25,020 BBY was when he was created. What do you guys think about that? I saw that and I thought that's ridiculous. That would mean that he has survived several genocides, basically, of the Jedi Order. So, all right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Daddy Palps. I have heard that he's 25,000 years. I don't know if it's true, but
That means he could potentially be in the High Republic.
he would be High Republic, yeah, because that's only 150 years ago or before. But the Jedi Origins movie that we're going to get eventually takes place 25,000 years in the past.
Oh, that's convenient.
So he's going to be
in it.
Be there at the origin of the Jedi. He's going to help build the first lightsaber, if that's true.
He's in
like
it.
So that's going to be cool to see.
That's cool.
Like maybe he's going to learn with the first Jedi how to build a lightsaber. Like he's going to like create like the mechanisms and like the science, the electrical work to like figure out how it works. So that'll be cool. Is he going to look exactly the same? I hope he does. Or is he going to be...
No, he has to be 25% different.
25% different than we've seen. But he would be 100% of what we see in Clone Wars.
Correct.
But...
maybe.
I don't know. Because he got damaged in the Clone Wars, so that's why he's 25% not original parts. But I think that'd be super cool to see him in that movie.
They knew how to make droids back then. Let's just say that. That lasts way longer. It's like a car. The older cars are so much better, dude.
Right.
If they're not okay, it depends on what year. But like they just last longer. They're more reliable. These new cars, man. If you unplug one thing, the whole thing just decides to lock up. So,
yeah,
I'm all about these old droids. Apparently,
the one thing that I don't this is a little tangent, but one thing I don't understand that car companies don't do. Like, why they don't come out with like a new Mustang that has the 1960 whatever body, but a modern car. Like, people would buy the crap out of that because they like those old
what?
1962. Oh, you got a 1962 Mustang with the little like make that body on a modern car. Like, people would
Oh
buy
yeah,
that crap so fast. But
yeah. I think it has to do with mileage and aerodynamics, and
oh, it's just
they want to change it. But I
it's
mean,
fine.
they can throw a Tesla batteries in a Mustang and just make it run like that. That'd be so dope. Like you get all the gadgets and stuff, but then the body of a Mustang. Psh. Have you seen the newer Mustang?
No, I probably have. I just don't really care.
You have, and you just haven't realized it. It's like a hatchback 4-door electrical car. It's so dumb. I don't even want to talk about it because I can go on a rant. Because I used to own a Mustang, and I was a Mustanger.
But now you're just a Jeep guy.
Now I'm a Jeep guy.
Yeah, you got a Jeep shirt on.
I do, and I loved my old Jeep more than my new Jeep. Just say that, even though Jeremiah hated my old Jeep because the handle.
Yeah, I kept breaking the handle off trying to get out of his truck. Like,
but it was so much better.
I liked your dad's Jeep before it.
Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about that one too. That one was dumb.
Monster truck wheels with like giant like lights on top. They're like
Yeah, that car.
for hunting dinosaurs at night. How bright those were.
Yeah, that Jeep, and my dad decided not to drive it in the winter, and it seized up. But people make mistakes, apparently.
Yep. But yeah, so that's Daddy Pelps. You're going
I'm gonna go hang out with him
Is
next
it
week.
duck hunting or pheasant
Duck
hunting?
hunting.
Duck hunting in a week and a half from now. So you gotta vlog that up, dude.
Yeah, I don't know how many people want to watch people kill animals on our channel, but
Well, you don't have to have kill shots. You can just vlog the experience of going hiking through the woods and getting to a field or whatever you're.
we're going on a boat in a lake, but or like a pond thing. But yeah,
Yeah, go.
I'll watch.
Gakman says he'll watch, so that's
All
one
right.
view.
All right, there you go. Make sure you go subscribe on our YouTube channel while you're over there.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, Daddy Pelps. It's always a pleasure.
Yep.
All right. Next two voicemails are from our good friend Addie. We haven't heard from her for a while, so let's take a listen to number 1.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Addie. I'm back with another voicemail. I'm so sorry. It's been forever. School has been busy and a little bit trickier, but I'm here now. I just want to send a voicemail about the latest Ahsoka episode. Oh man, we got him. We got Ezra. Like, I know we also got Thrawn, but Ezra. As someone who grew up on Rebels, seeing Ezra and everyone in live action is absolutely a dream come true. And to tell you the truth, I actually cried when I saw him. I'm not kidding. Like, my dad, while we were watching it, was like, control your emotions, Addie. I was like, no, I'm going to cry over this because this is awesome. But anyway, I'm running out of time. Hope you guys have an awesome day. May the force be with you. Bye!
At least someone cried.
Yeah. Addie's more emotional than Sabine. Like, what the heck? But I'm happy that you are enjoying this live action of these characters because it's basically Rebel Season 5.
Without Zeb for no reason.
Yeah, why we haven't gotten Zeb? Like,
why wasn't Zeb in this Gand of?
Yeah, because like we get him in Mando, and we're like, oh, they made him because they were gonna have him in Ahsoka. Like,
it's kind of dumb. Like he should have been. He was literally talking to the guy that we got in X-Wing.
Right. So if we see him this season, it's gonna be Thrawn is going to leave the current galaxy next episode, and we're gonna see him in our galaxy, and there's gonna be a space battle, and Zeb's gonna be with people like leading them away to like fight. That's when we're gonna see Zeb, maybe. But
yeah, that was like something I thought about the other day. I'm like, wait, what the heck are we doing right now? Like, why wasn't Zeb the one with Hera having these communication? Like saying, well, hey, they want us back. Like, that would have been so much more impactful. it would have been out of Zeb's character, but to see a Zeb character growth change and how he's super loyal to like the New Republic now, I think would have been a cool.
And
cool
why
way to
haven't
go
we
about
seen Agent Callus? Like, what the heck? I want to see live action Agent Callus.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of the characters we're getting, and then some of the characters we're not. It's like at this point, it is Rebel season 5. Like, don't act like it's not. Like you even said it. We got Ahsoka for 5 minutes in this episode. Like, it's not the Ahsoka show. It's like the Sabine show, and Ahsoka learns how to be a white Ahsoka. Like, that's all this show is.
Yep.
So I don't know.
But that being said, let's take a listen to Addie's second voicemail.
Hey up, Radio. I'm here with a second voicemail because, well, I have to make up for lost time. But this time I have a question. If you had to switch lives with any character in Star Wars, who would it be and what would you do? Me personally, it would be Omega because, she's absolutely my favorite Star Wars character ever. Like, ever. And it would just be so great to meet the Bad Batch. I consider them as fictional older brothers. Like, you know me. Yes, Drew, I still love episode 4, season 2.
Okay.
Seriously. But anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome day. May the force be with you. Bye!
At least someone liked that episode.
Yep. She's always gonna love that episode.
In spite of me.
Yeah. What else did she say? I just got hung up on the racing episode.
She was just asking if we can switch races with a Star Wars character. Who would it be and what would we do? I feel like we've done this before.
I don't think we've been asked this question. Like, who would we want to? Like, we've been like, what like job would we want in Star Wars? Like, what role? But we never like if we could take that person's place, like be that person. Like
Boba Fett. Boba Fett, and I wouldn't take my helmet off. And I would run Tatooine with an iron fist. Not the pansy way he ended up.
You're too nice. You wouldn't be able to do that. You're too.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I feel like I don't know.
You just be your diner guy.
I don't want to do that. I could go around and like. I feel like I would maybe like be Cad Bane, bounty hunter by trade, but then chill and go fishing a lot. Like I see Cad Bane fishing in Solitude.
Maybe. He might enjoy fishing between jobs. Who would I want to be? I don't know.
Yakman said, Mando, so I can just drive the N1. Oh, that's a Mustang, and you can buy an old one and drive that.
I don't know, like be like Wedge, be like an X-wing pilot. That'd be cool.
You don't even like driving in real life, though.
Yeah, but an X-wing pilot like would be cool.
Yeah, that's true. As long as you said Wedge and not Poe, I'm okay with that answer.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
Okay.
I could be Anakin. That way I can marry Padme. That'd be nice. And I wouldn't turn
kill her.
I wouldn't turn to the dark side though.
You wouldn't kill her. Okay, that's good. You just let bygones be bygones. If we die, we die. Like it's okay if you have to die.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. Like, there's just so many characters. I can't even just like think of everybody.
No, it's a lot.
But yeah,
those are two good ones.
I'd probably be Wedge, a famous X-wing pilot. All right, cool. Thank you, Addie. So hopefully you're because she mentioned I think school in her first episode. She's getting busy with school, so stay in school, do your homework,
stay in school,
get good grades. Also, here's a question for you, Addie. Whatever happened to your movie that you were gonna make? I know you got caught up with the VCU sequel novel audio drama thing.
I need to catch up on that.
Yeah, I do too. I've listened to the first one and I just
you.
I need to catch up. But Eddie, whatever happened to your movie? Are you now that you're taking a break from the VCU novel thing? Are you working on your film again, or what's going on with that? I want to know. I want an update. So you can either send us a
'Cause you
voicemail
read
on
it,
that.
huh?
Huh?
You read it, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, I've read the script for that because she asked me to like edit it and give suggestions. So that was a long time ago. And I thought like
That was when
9.
you were doing your Bad Batch fan fiction stuff.
No, it wasn't that. That was
Maybe we need to bring back some like fan fiction Jeremiah content.
yeah. We were talking about scheduling, and we have like nothing to do for the next till the next show. It comes out in
Yeah.
like 6 to 12 months from now, whenever that is.
Depending. So
Maybe I gotta do my
you guys start
season
writing
3 finale of the Bad Batch fan fiction.
so they can steal it because they got time to.
I gotta get that out before season 3 comes out, just so I can see how much more they copy from me.
You know what, Jeremiah? This might be a good time to pitch that you can write for Disney with a lot less cost.
Yeah.
You don't need to be in a union.
No.
You're not gonna go on strike. Just let
No.
me write it.
Yeah, just give me like a little bit more than what I make, like an extra like 20 grand than I make now, and then I'd be fine. I'd be fine.
You would love that.
Yeah.
Stay at home and write all day. Get your Great Danes. Get your house.
I would love to have a Great Dane someday. Yes, someday. But until then, we gotta wait for Addie to make her movie. So give us an update on that. So either you can send us that as a voicemail, or you can just shoot us an email if you want to just send us an email like telling about that. But anyway, last up, we've gotten a voicemail from this individual the last 2 weeks. Our favorite pod racer has sent in another voicemail. Garrett, who's in the chat, Gakman820.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Drew, just so you know, the first like 2 seconds of this is gonna be really loud, and then it's gonna be normal. So just bear with me. So let's take a listen to our favorite pod racer.
Hey Empire Radio, it's Garrett again. I'm in the middle of a race right now, so I hope you can hear me. I'm currently in second place behind Gazgano, but he's making a ton of mistakes, so I should be past him shortly. Anyway, I wanted to ask you a question while it's fresh in my mind. If you could make your perfect fantasy Star Wars movie, what would it be? Meaning choosing your own storyline and characters and all that stuff. Personally, other than a pod racing movie, mine would probably be Vader rated R. I would follow Vader going around, hunting down the rest of the Jedi, maybe taking out a couple of rebels here and there. I don't know. That's just me. But Gazgano made a mistake. See ya!
I like that. That's good.
All right, cool. I want to know what he used to make that sound effect. It was like a food processor or something, or a vacuum, or what? But
it sounded like an air compressor or something.
But hopefully you win that race, and we'll find out if you won next week, maybe. But our fantasy Star Wars movie. So we kind of answered this.
I was gonna say, didn't we answer this
in our EmpireCon live show? Kind of.
Oh yeah, that's where it was.
Driving a car in Forza Horizon 5. That's the sound effect. So I'll give it. I was just thinking about this the other day. I can't remember what it was. Something.
I think Daddy Palps asked that question.
It was something about that
Star Wars Celebration
or EmpireCon, not Star Wars Celebration.
Or whatever. It's our Star Wars.
Someday we'll be a guest at Star Wars Celebration.
All right, I'm gonna say mine.
Okay.
Mine is what I said would be a Palpatine origin story movie that would be.
Oh, that's what the question was. We had to agree on a specific movie that.
Andy asked that question.
Was that my brother?
Your brother asked that question.
And then Daddy Palps asked if we were ever going to get a rated R Star Wars movie.
Yes,
that's what it was.
Because Daddy Palps or Andy asked that question, and he said that it can't be a Boba Fett movie.
Yeah,
he just was stabbing me the entire podcast episode. I was like, bro, chill. I know you're listening too, Andy. Yeah,
but Palpatine origin. So I think something I don't remember what made me look it up, but I was thinking about I want to see the Jedi Mandalorian War because we've gotten hints at that in Rebels. I think Book of Boba or Mando, whatever, from live action stuff recently. But a Jedi Mandalorian War would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because I think I tried to look it up, like when it took place, and I thought it was like 100 years before the prequels or something like that. But I thought didn't Boba say his dad fought in that battle? So it would have been like maybe like 50 years or 75 years. I don't know.
I don't know. Dude, the origin of Jango Fett has changed so much. I have no idea.
Well, the canon is that he was adopted.
Yeah, but the old one used to be that he killed a Mandalorian and took the armor.
That's what it was. That's in the EU, but now the canon is he was
a foundling.
A foundling. But yeah, I think it'd be really cool to see the conflict more fleshed out. Like, cause like what was do we really get answer like what the conflict was? Like why they hate each other? Just because the Jedi had special powers and the Mandalorians didn't, and so they just like screw these guys with superpowers. Like
probably.
But it'd be cool to see that conflict, see those battles. See, because Kanan in Rebels says that the Jedi won that war. So it'd be cool to see like how they won. Like
that would be really cool, actually.
So that's my answer to that question. But yeah, so that's everything. That's all the voicemails. Yeah. We haven't had that many in a while. I think we've gotten like 3 and 4 for a lot of times, but this is the first time we've had this many in a while. So
keep sending them in.
Keep sending them. If you've never sent one in, I'll tell you how to do it right now. So in the description below, there's a links.co/Empire Radio, link spelled with 2 I's, landing page for everything Star Wars to get connected to us. And so one of those links is the link to send a voicemail. So you can record up to a minute long voicemail, and that's always fun to hear from new people, especially accents. We love hearing accents from other countries because we know about was it 27% of our audience is not from the United States. So I'm looking at you, Great Britain. I'm looking at you, Germany. Those are the 2 like European ones. Australia is another one, and then Canada, but that's pretty close enough to Minnesota accent. But Dazdor did send in. He has a thick French accent, and he's from Canada, so that's always fun. So yeah. So apart from that, in that landing page, you also have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Twitch. We do live streams of everything on Twitch. And so if you want to watch us live and join us in the chat, because you've probably heard us referring to the chat a lot tonight. If you want to join in it, follow us on Twitch. And if you ever want to send us an email, we have our fan email. The Discord link, join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. I love Tuesday nights now when everyone watches the episode and like right when it's done, everyone just starts flooding the Ahsoka chat.
Yeah, it's so much better now that it's like on a normal drop.
I really like the night thing. One, it makes my life easier for editing reaction videos because I can just record it Tuesday. I'm off Wednesday, so I can just edit it all day and then get that up. So that makes my life easier. And it just feels like an event, like a premiere type of thing, but it's every week. And so
instead of waiting and then like if you wake up or you're gonna watch it at 2 a.m. like it was so
everyone just watched it at different times of day, so it was like very like
one person would wake up, there'd be spoilers like right away and like
thumbnails on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, from like so many people, and it's so much better now.
Yeah, so a lot of fun. So so Drew does watch parties for the episodes on Tuesday nights on Twitch. And so he's been hanging out before a game for a little pregame show.
Yeah.
And then
we've been talking yesterday wasn't as long as I did the week before, but next week we're gonna be attempting to unlock Ahsoka in Fortnite because that's the battle pass right now. So come hang out, come chat and watch me try to win in Fortnite. It's gonna be fun.
Gotta do that 360 no scope, bro.
One day, just for you, Jeremy.
One day, you better clip it too.
Yeah. Oh, I will. Trust me.
And also, finally, we are part of needlesslynerdy.com, which is an entertainment network that we're part of. And so there's all kinds of other nerdy podcasts on there, articles, and go follow them for also all kinds of nerdy content. A lot of fun. So that's it for tonight. I'm excited for next week. These next 2 episodes I feel like are going to be like season 1 of The Mandalorian, where it's a 2-part like action-packed 2 episodes. And so I think there's going to be a lot of battle, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of emotion. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Anything else, Drew?
No.
All right. Cool. Well, you've been listening to another Ahsoka-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.